Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about green fragrances, the green fragrances I have in my collection and the ones that have very prominent green aspects to them. I really like green fragrances. I did want to do this video outside, but it's too cold today. It's way too cold. It's winter here in Australia and it's very cold outside and it's windy. So I'm going to go through them here inside with some heating. And yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, green notes, green aspects, why I like them, please keep watching. First up is this, what I think's a hidden gem, Volupte from Oscar de la Renta. This one's from the mid-90s. This is a recent formulation. It is yellow florals with some quite strong green aspects. I think the green aspects in here come from Lily of the Valley, and I'm just having a look because it's not really obvious, but Osmanthus, Lily of the Valley, I think. And yeah, this one has got some incense in the base, which gives it a little smoky edge. But basically, this is what I'm wearing today. I get the lovely powdery yellow florals, especially the mimosa and the ylang ylang, but it's powdery because there's heliotrope in here. There's narcissus as well. It's quite glorious. I dare say the earlier formulations of this were stronger, but this one still lasts several hours on the skin, and it's an EDT. It is voluptuous. The florals in here are very big. And just as an interesting side note, one of my favorite fragrances of all time, which is sadly discontinued, is Bulgari Pour Femme. And it's the same creator, Sophia Grossman, made this one as well as Bulgari Pour Femme. This one's still available, if I didn't mention. And even though that one is much more rose and violet, and this doesn't have rose, this does have peony, but it's got the yellow florals with the powdery florals. And this really strong green note in here that really just counterbalances those powdery yellow florals beautifully. But if you know Bulgari Pour Femme, which, as I say, sadly no longer available, and you liked that one, this one is worth a try. That's Volupte by Oscar de la Renta. The next one I wanted to talk about that has a wonderful green appeal to it is C by Giorgio Armani. I find this a compliment bomb. This a compliment magnet. This is the original C. So the original C is the least fruity of the Cs. It just has the cassis without the actual blackcurrant fruits. So this is the leaves and the buds of the blackcurrant. And it gives this fragrance a leafy warmth. Now, what I'm about to say next I think is going to sound odd, but to me, the leafy aspect of the cassis, this vegetal leaves, vegetal leafy smell, it's warm and bitter, bordering almost, but not quite getting there, to kind of like cat pee. It's true. This has that. But the combination with the lovely rose in here and vanilla and patchouli, this is, I think, like a classic now. I think it came out just over a decade ago. And the combination projects and lasts, and you do get that warm leafiness, but the cassis also provides enough of the blackcurrant fruit combined with the rose and the freesia. It's heavenly, and I'm not joking. Every time I wear this, people say it smells amazing or I smell amazing. I can see why C has been a staple in so many women's fragrance wardrobes for so long. I used to really wear, and I still do, C Passione the most. onto my second bottle of that. But more recently, the original, it's such a fail-safe, easy reach, and it's just a marvelous combination where the very strong cassis green aspect provides the strength to this. That's C by Giorgio Armani. What I wanted to talk about is perhaps the greenest of the green, and that's Aura by Mugler. I'm going to spray a little bit of this one. Oh my gosh. This is really quite divine. Sadly discontinued, but you can still get it. This has also gotten better the longer it sits because the vanilla in it has come through. But Aura is the greenest of the green. It opens with several different types of green smells to my nose. There's a minty aspect to this that I've always said comes off to me, sorry for hitting the mic, comes off to me like absinthe. There's an alcohol, light alcohol, minty quality to Aura. There's also a bitterness, and green notes can have a bitterness. This has also improved as this has sat because, like I say, I think it melds more with the vanilla in here. This lasts on the skin for hours and hours. It's glorious, and it gets sweeter as it dries down. I'm just going to check all the notes. So rhubarb leaf provides that bitter sharpness to this. And there's just a category of green notes on Fragrantica. But to my nose, there's something minty, and I get distinctly absinthe, as I say. So yeah, it opens with this rhubarb leaf. Can you imagine how sharp that is? I think everyone has smelled this at some point. I really like to wear it in the slightly cooler weather. To me, this kind of outdoorsy bitter green is great for autumn, and I also wear it at this time of year, which is winter here. That's Aura by Mugler. The next one I wanted to talk about was Neon Rose by Floral Street. As you can see, I've used a fair bit of this. This is a wonderful summer fragrance, and I really enjoyed wearing it in the summer. The green appeal to this one is cassis again, and it is rose, again rose, like C, but this is a much fresher, aquatic smelling rose compared to C. And it's combined again with the cassis, and the cassis here is way greener in that it's more of a, ooh, wrong way, look where we're going. Yeah, this is divine, very green. And when I'm saying green, I'm not saying fresh, I mean green as in leaves or twigs. That's pretty much what I'm saying when I say green. I wore this at a similar time that I was wearing Idole by Lancome, and they're a similar idea in a sense that they're both fruity, rosy fragrances. I much prefer Neon Rose by Floral Street because it's got the green aspects to it, which gives it more interest to me. Comparing the two, Idole by Lancome or Neon Rose by Floral Street, in the summertime, this one won. And this one amazingly also lasts quite a while on my skin. So yeah, it's a very light pink, almost white rose with the green aspects and the fruits. And here I think a lot of the fruit comes from apple blossom and bergamot in the top. There's also angelica in this one. Yeah. So it's very green. You're in an early morning garden with some white rose bushes. And there's a real aquatic sense to it. And there's cyclamen in here. I think that helps to give it an aquatic sense. And I just noticed juniper berries as well. So very invigorating and green. That is Neon Rose by Floral Street. Let's stick with the feel of an early morning dewy garden and that kind of greenness. And that's also what I get from Dolce by Dolce and Gabbana. I've spoken about this one recently in a quiet fragrances video, a work-friendly fragrances video. And this one I spoke about in that. It is very much dewy and green, and it's really very delightful. The green in here, I believe, comes from papaya flower. That must be the source of the green. There's neroli and papaya flower at the top, and water lily, narcissus, and amaryllis in the middle, and musk and cashmere in the base. This remains delightfully green in the sense of light rain on leaves, light rain on green leaves. And the greenness remains throughout. It is feminine, it is floral, it is leafy, and it is watery. And I really enjoy wearing this. It's quiet, it's uplifting, it's early morning sunshine. That's Dolce by Dolce and Gabbana. Another one that is an oldie, but in my view a goodie, is Gardenia by Elizabeth Taylor. I've been loving these old school Elizabeth Taylor fragrances lately. This one has been in my collection for a couple of years. It is incredibly green, and the green here is like, to me, it's the stems and the leaves of the Gardenia flower. Mostly what you get in Gardenia is the floral aspect of the Gardenia. Wow, but it's got quite a sharp, no, I'd say a bitter, twiggy greenness to it. The image that I always get with this fragrance, Gardenia by Elizabeth Taylor, is a picnic blanket on a beautiful grassy slope, and someone's wearing a lovely white sundress, and there's gardenia bushes around with the lovely big flowers. The white floral gardenia is super prominent and also develops to something very, very creamy, which is really, really nice. The green aspect remains. This one's really quite intoxicating. Have to like Gardenia, of course. It costs pennies. It is such a fun fragrance, especially for spring. Spring picnics in gentle sunlight. Gardenia by Elizabeth Taylor. Another fragrance that has a prominent green aspect is Matcha Meditation by Maison Margiela. This one I wear in the summertime. For some reason, it's very specific when I wear this. I wear this in the high heat, straight out of the shower. The green aspect in this is that powdery matcha tea, and it's almost photorealistic. It's like, yeah, it's a green powdered leaf matcha tea. If you like matcha tea, I would definitely suggest giving this one a smell. The other notes that combine in here that are prominent is a white chocolate note. And again, for me, it's powdered. Yeah, it's the longer this sits, and I've had this for a couple of years as well, the more noticeable that white chocolate is. It's a very interesting combination, the green matcha with the white chocolate. Mate's in here as well. So this is tea on tea on tea. But in terms of actual greenness, my way of thinking is it's from the matcha. And it works very well on the hottest of days, straight out of the shower, incredibly refreshing with a little touch of white chocolate. That's Matcha Meditation by Maison Margiela. Here is another one from early 2000s. This is the original Euphoria by Calvin Klein. Just let's pull up the notes for that one. This is a recent formulation, and I do remember the original, and I would say it smells very similar, but it's a shadow of its former self in terms of projection and longevity. This smells really amazing to me in that there's nothing quite like it. Very distinctive smelling. It's green. It's super green. What stands out in this are the florals. The florals are quite unusual here, and it's champaca, I think. So it's this very creamy. I've not come across a champaca in real life. To me, it smells like lilies, a very exotic, heady, hothouse lily situation. But it is like a hothouse in that I get all of the greenness, that really green sensation, as if walking into a heated hothouse environment with orchids, champaca, lilies, that kind of thing. In Fragrantica, it just says a green accord. This is really good. This is kind of addictive as well. I really like it, except this most recent formulation just doesn't last. It starts with a bang and then it fades, but it is distinctly green. And there's these, you couldn't even put it into white or yellow florals, more like lilies to me, but they're warm. What else have we got in here? Black orchid, lotus, champaca. There's some black violet in the base. The fruits at the opening, I don't really get at all. Pomegranate, persimmon, and I suspect the earlier version of this was fruitier. This version is green and floral. It's still worth having a smell of, I think, and it's very nostalgic. But as I say, this most recent formulation is sad in how it projects for maybe an hour strongly, and then it's kind of all over. But a good little travel back down memory lane. That's Euphoria by Calvin Klein. This one I really like. I'm quite a fan of citrus fragrances, and this is Citrus Riviera by BDK. Now, it's got a delicious lemon in the opening, but it's also distinctly green. The only green note that I recall is listed in here is eucalyptus. If it's eucalyptus, it's also not just the oils of the eucalyptus, but the actual leaves. There's something very vegetal in Citrus Riviera, and it adds to the experience. It also somehow too, the citrus aspects last a long time, which you'd hope for in a BDK fragrance, right? You'd hope for it to have good longevity, and this one does. This one takes me straight outside. Like, this is like early summer, sitting amongst the trees with lemons on the table, some kind of cafe overlooking some kind of citrus grove, but very noticeable eucalyptus, if not, there is a dedicated review of Citrus Riviera on the channel, and so I'll walk you through it, what I get. Almost like celery. There's almost like a slightly celery salt with the eucalyptus, which to me makes this a reasonably unique citrus fragrance. That's Citrus Riviera from BDK. Then I have Good Fortune by Viktor and Rolf. This is a jasmine fragrance with a delightful green twist. This has fennel and gentiana, little blue flower, in the top. You get a lot of the fennel in this, and it's green with a slight aniseed twist. Now, this has been out a couple of years and it was not well received generally, Good Fortune, which I think is unfortunate because I really enjoy this. I'm probably not the world's biggest jasmine fan. I mean, you know, it's in a lot of fragrances, but I really enjoy the jasmine in this because it's not heavy. This is, and I think a lot of it is the simple composition. We've got fennel, we've got jasmine, and we've got vanilla. And this does what it says on the tin. Like it's a fresh take on jasmine with a vanilla base. There's just enough aniseed quality from the fennel, and there's just enough greenness from the fennel to really give this a freshness. Interestingly, even though it's a fresh take on jasmine, for me, this works best in cooler temps. Everything has a chance to shine, it seems to me. I think jasmine generally is just a bit much in the warmer temps, right? But Good Fortune, if you've got this somewhere in your collection, I hope you get it out because super underrated. I've got no more free skin. Oh, it's really nice. It's really, and of course, the longer I've had it, the more the vanilla has meshed with everything else. But it's really nice. It is a fresher kind of jasmine. That is Good Fortune by Viktor and Rolf. There we have 10 fragrances that are either super green or have green aspects. I hope you enjoyed that. What do you all think of green fragrances these days? Do they have any appeal for you? And if so, which are your favorite? I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.